Hello to all our followers and welcome to this new episode of 5 Minutes. Today we talk about China 1949, Year of Revolution. Does this help understand today's China? With our guest, Graham Hutchings, Associate at the University of Oxford's China Centre and Honorary Professor at the University of Nottingham. Graham, very welcome to 5 Minutes. It's a great honor and a great pleasure to have you here. Graham, this interview takes inspiration from a book that you have recently published, China 1949, Year of Revolution. Now, China is such an important player on the global scene these days. What do its leaders and the Chinese people actually want, in your opinion?
Well, firstly, thanks very much for having me. I'm delighted to join the program. The question really is a good one in the sense that you make a distinction between what the Chinese people want and what the Chinese leadership wants. They do overlap very naturally, but if we begin with the Chinese leadership, the Chinese Communist Party wants to stay in power. It's absolutely committed to exercising a monopoly of power and not having that power challenged. It's not just power hungry, it believes that if there's no Chinese Communist Party holding the country together, then China will be in a mess. I don't happen to think that's true, but let's leave that aside for the time being. The Chinese people want what people want all over the world. They want prosperity, they want security, they want peace, and they want something perhaps particularly special to them. They want respect and prestige.
So how easy then will it be for the West to live with China as it pursues its goals?
The West is finding it increasingly difficult to live with China. China matters so much in the world, right across the spectrum. If you think of economics, you think of business, you think of finance, you think of trade, you think of diplomacy, statecraft, right through to cultural endeavors, overseas investment and the like. The whole China story is a huge one, and the West is finding it difficult. It's finding it difficult because of a number of factors. One is the Chinese political system is rather different. The second is that China plays by the rules, but they are rules that it interprets, and it often interprets them rather loosely. It isn't very good yet on reciprocity. So China has a market economy, but it is a market economy in which the state plays a very big role. Therefore, the West finds it difficult to establish terms to conduct business that satisfies both parties. And then there's the whole agenda about the way China approaches human rights issues, whether it be trade unions, whether it be ethnic minorities, whether it be the case most recently of Hong Kong and so forth, that creates problems.
So history matters in China, especially in Chinese politics. Where does the foundation of the People's Republic of China in 1949 fit into the historic scheme of things then?
Well, 1949 is a long way ago, many years have passed, but in a way, it's not very distant at all. That was the year in which the People's Republic was founded. That was the year in which the Communist Party seized control. It has never relinquished control since, neither does it intend to, and it created the institutions and the way of life, the civic discourse, the parameters of political discussion in the year 1949, and they have not expanded very significantly since. So when one wants to understand the roots of China's present behavior, although there's been this time elapse, and although that China has changed in several important ways, you still need to go back to the foundations of the communist state to really understand what's going on.
And you said that the year 1949 gave birth to two Chinas.
Yes.
The communist-controlled mainland and the now democratic island of Taiwan.
Yeah.
Now, which consequences would follow the resume of the conflict between these two entities left unsolved in 1949?
Well, your choice of word conflict is an important one, because the Civil War that seemed to have been decided in 1949 wasn't really, because since 1949 the communists have been in charge of the mainland, and as you pointed out, the nationalists for the most part in charge of Taiwan, which is now a democratic island. From Beijing's point of view, national reunification is imperative, and it has not been achieved, and they are determined to do so. One of the important things that I think to remember about China is that unlike most great powers in history, it has become great and influential before it's actually gone through a process of national unification. Think of Italy, for example. There was national unification first and then some greatness afterwards. Germany likewise. The United States too, with the Civil War, bringing North and South together, paving the way for the greatness of the country. China has become great and influential while still a disunited nation. The communists want to change that. The Taiwanese would like the status quo to remain.
Thank you so much, Graham, for this insightful discussion. We wish you all the best, and we hope to see you here again at 5 Minutes.
Thank you so much for having me. Very good to be with you.